Hey YouTubers, Muskrat Jim here again. Look at those logs. The bark's been stripped right off by beavers. Amazing. Get a little closer and take a look at the teeth marks. Look, you can see all the little teeth scratches in the bark. Pretty amazing. There's a lodge right over there. Well, I've been tagged again. Anyway, I was tagged by 13 Prevail. His name is Troy and he lives in Newfoundland, Canada. And we've been, YouTube buddies for a couple of years at least. This time the tag is, when did you know for sure that the woods would play an important role in your life? Be a passion, that sort of thing. Well, I don't trap and I don't hunt and I'm not much of a fisherman. But I do remember going trout fishing with my grandfather when I was a teenager. And he used to go hunting as well, like deer hunting and moose hunting. But I never really got into that because at the time I got interested in girls. So anyway, had to get my priorities straight, I guess. But anyway, my grandfather's passed on for quite a few years now, so that opportunity is gone as well. The opportunity to spend time with him in the woods hunting. I spent time with him fishing, and so anyway, those are good memories. But it would have been good to go hunting with him as well. My first wilderness book, actually even before that, I guess, back when I was about, 6 or 7 years old. Growing up in rural New Brunswick, I wasn't very far away from the ocean or from the forests. And my earliest memories are being on the shore of the Bay of Fundy, collecting mussels and periwinkles with my father. And then we'd bring them home, cook them up, and eat them. And around that time, I also remember, going out and picking wild strawberries and blueberries because they're quite abundant here in New Brunswick. Anyway, advance a little bit further to my early teens, and somebody gave me a book by Bradford Angier called How to Stay Alive in the Woods. Like, up until that point, I enjoyed the woods, I enjoyed the seashore, but it wasn't until I read Bradford Angier's book that I learned that you can get food from trees, and his books talked about, or that one book talked about how to build traps and how to cook game and the whole 9 yards. So anyway, I just loved that book and I read it from cover to cover, and I think I wore it out because, well, I don't have it anymore. But again, that was in my teen years, so it goes back quite a ways. And then fast forward a little bit further, my early adulthood, my father sent me a couple of books. They were Tom Brown Jr.'s field guides, one on wilderness survival and one on urban survival. And again, I read those through and through and, went out and practiced, building shelters and stuff. Actually, I was building shelters before that. Go back a little bit more, back into my teen years. When I was a teenager, a bunch of us guys, we'd go out into the woods and we'd build little forts and cabins. Well, they weren't really cabins, but they were basically a little fort. And we'd invite our girlfriends over and, have fun. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, let's go back to my adulthood. Alright, so anyway, I read those Tom Brown books and really got into his stuff. And then I joined Search and Rescue, and I was with them for several years. And then my son was born, and we used to go out and we fished a little bit. And what else? Oh yes, he joined the Beavers and Cub Scouts here in Canada, and I was a Beaver leader and a Cub Scout leader. And anyway, that's about it. And now, well, he's a man himself now, and you know, my career has slowed down a little bit, so I get more of a chance to you know, spend time outdoors. I'm not constantly studying, you know, technical stuff and, you know, whatever. Now that I'm a little bit older, you know, I get a chance to relax a little bit. So this is where I like to relax, out in the woods. So, to answer your question as to when I knew that the woods, the wilderness, would play a big role in my life, I'd have to say when I read that Bradford Angiers book, How to Stay Alive in the Woods, because that really fired my imagination up, got me really interested in it. And I was probably 13 years old at the time. So, yep, it's been a few years. So anyway, as part of this tag, I have to tag one other person. So I'm going to tag my friend Blythe Victor in the Ukraine, and his YouTube channel is Bushcraft Ukraine, and I'll put a link to his channel down below in the description, and also a link to Troy's channel down below. So if you haven't checked out their channels, they do pretty much the same thing I do, a lot of outdoorsy stuff. Troy actually, like 13 Prevail, he actually does a lot of hunting, whereas Blythe in the Ukraine doesn't hunt so much as he camps, and he camps in the winter as well. So interesting channels, so be sure you check them out. This is Muskrat Jim, signing out. For more muskrat survival videos, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.